welcome to the Mimecast webinar session. I am Cincy Sandosh from Bulwark Technologies. Bulwark is a leading IT and cybersecurity solution provider in the Middle East, established in 1999 with headquarters in Dubai and regional offices in Saudi Arabia and India. Thank you everyone for taking time to join the session. The session will be taken by Mimecast account manager Gigi Charian. If you have any queries and questions during the session, you can put it in the chat box. All the queries will be answered at the end of the session. Yeah, over to Gigi to start the webinar.
Yeah. Thanks, Cincy. Hello, and thanks everyone for taking the time to join today's webinar session. So I wanted to discuss with you in terms of how Mimecast is securing human risk of organizations. And also before I start, just wanted to do a brief introduction of those who doesn't know me. So my name is Gigi Charian. I work as a customer development account manager at Mimecast, handling existing customer base of Mimecast customers that falls under 700 seats. So I'll be the point of contact when it comes to renewals, anything related to commercials, new Mimecast products the customers are keen to explore now. So let's dive into the presentation here. So it's a fact that work has changed. So the way we collaborate, the tools that we use to collaborate, so all these things have evolved. So from a world in which email was the primary method of communication, and also we all lived, like if you imagine like how we used to work 10 years back, it was all about spreadsheets, files. We used to share or exchange data using a USB drive, using network file shares and all. But today, if you look at it, data itself is coming in different forms, and the way we use it and share it has changed completely. And also you can consider the informal conversations that we have, the Slack messages. We do have the option to interact with Teams. We could even interact or communicate with someone using emojis, using reactions and all. And also live collaborations. We could also collaborate on a live document on SharePoint, or we can also have Zoom calls in real time across different time zones. So that's how like work has changed. So the intersection, what has not changed is the human beings or the employees are using these tools. And as a result, what has happened is our intersection, and because of the rapidly evolving threat, what has happened is our nature as human beings is that we make accidental mistakes. And also 95% of cybersecurity issues are traced to a human error. So the majority of the attributes being it could be accidental, it could be targeted, and it could be malicious as well. So as I said, our nature as human beings means that we could make accidental mistakes. And also it could be some instance like unintentionally sharing the corporate data. And also we do see a spectrum of attacks where employees are being targeted in an organization. So attackers, they are very smart. They aim to trick humans with complex attacks that are designed to confuse or clicking on links or sharing login credentials and all. They do send a lot of convincing emails that unfortunately that the employees fall for. And also we do see a category of employees where sometimes the employees could be malicious as well. So they could be motivated by some sort of a financial gain, or maybe due to frustration. Sometimes they do have the tendency to steal or compromise data for personal gain, or it could be as a part of revenge as well. So, so work has changed, that is a point, but one thing that has not changed is the human beings. And who knows about it? It is the cyber criminals or the attackers. So what we do in the backend to strengthen our organizations is that we do add multiple tools. But unfortunately, the vulnerability still remains the same, which is the employees in an organization. And also why we are worried about it and why organizations should have a proper strategy when it comes to mitigation of human risk is because of the cost that organizations are paying towards breaches that are caused by employees. So this means that organizations, they are faced with a mandate of mitigating this human risk as an issue. And also it is a fact that it is a costly event. Okay. And also 68% of the breaches involve a non-malicious human element, so which means it could be an accidental mistakes. And also if you look at the cost that are associated with each type of mistake, so whether it be errors, whether it could be targeted, or it could be an intentional damage done to an organization. So the cost involved are an eye-opener for a lot of organizations. So $55 billion USD has been lost to business email compromise attacks over the past decade. And also, average cost of a single insider data leak is 15 million USD. So what these talks about is again the importance of organizations having a right tool when it comes to mitigating the human risk. And also, if we think about how we are addressing this problem, actually organizations are not really focused on resolving it. So 68% of the breaches are involving the human element, but when you compare that with the amount of money or the amount of budget that is allocated, be it protecting your devices or protecting your network, 80% of the budget is spent towards these, strengthening the organizations, adding one tool after another. But it's very minimal when it comes to protecting humans. So organizations are in a journey where they do understand and they are in the process of mitigating this human risk to avoid these kind of costly events. And also, if you compare this particular slide in terms of what sort of solutions your customers are using, I'm sure that you'll be able to relate it with a lot of tools. So be it applications, data, identity, endpoint, network, and all. So across a variety of categories, we have evolved. So with effectively, with very effective cybersecurity solutions. And also, let's take, for example, endpoint. So endpoint security tools are built by experts in that field. And also network security solutions are developed by experts in network traffic. So each of these solutions are very effective when it comes to preventing certain type of risk. So instead of blaming humans or employees for their humanity, organizations are starting to recognize that our security tools, so it doesn't matter whether it is the application, data, identity, endpoints, all these tools are brittle. So a single human error should not be enough to initiate a ransomware attack or bring down millions of devices in a blue screen of death, or it could even cause significant pain to an organization. So this is what we assume, but this is what we come across on a daily basis. So consumers and business and society, every customer, so once they are faced with a breach, they pay significant amount of money. And also the kind of investments that they're doing for the products and services. And also all these are done with an intention to protect their users. But unfortunately, what organizations are dealing with is poorly designed and managed IT systems. So we talked about the application, data, identity, endpoints, and all, but what about the human layer? So which security solution that an organization has is actually taking care of this human layer in an organization? So the tools, if you look at the tools that organizations are using, they were not built for the way the attacks are happening today. And also how organizations are trying to tackle when it comes to human layer is by just doing a compliance training. So just a box ticking activity, and just they hope for the best. They hope that their employees are learning, their employees are understanding their role in the cybersecurity strategy of the organization. But unfortunately, that is not happening. So this is where Mimecast comes in. So what we have done in Mimecast is that we merge that old approach with the new reality. We understand that yes, organizations are struggling and they don't have the right tools when it comes to managing the human risk. So this is what we offer. We provide the solution for this human layer by offering a real-time risk scoring. We provide adaptive training, and also it's completely automated, wherein what the protection that we offer is automated with the up-to-date response as well. So now let's talk about an organization. So it could be your customer. Okay, so every user in an organization is unique. And also there is very limited in terms of what you can see with the tools that organizations are using. So the max what you could you could find from this organization would be what devices are there on the network, which applications are installed, what sites are these employees visiting. But what about the employees? So which is our biggest attack surface? So that's what Mimecast is trying to address. So do we know that which employees are being targeted? Do we know that who is exhibiting risky behaviors? Do you know like who clicks? Who is the person who shares confidential data outside? Where is it getting shared? So this gap is what we are trying to address, and we feel that yes, this is a visibility gap in cybersecurity that organizations are facing. But what if we are able to identify and tell your customer saying that we are able to identify that this person in black t-shirt is the riskiest employee in the organization. So his risk scoring is 8.9, and these are the reasons that we are able to figure out or these are the reasons why he has become a high risk employee in the organization. So I need to focus on this person, and he's a threat for the organization, and this is where I need to focus more. Whereas I have got employee who is like 1.7 risk scoring, so which means he's pretty good. So maybe I need not spend much time in training and educating this user. So this is what Mimecast is trying to do. So wherein you could see individualized based on the real actions, based on the attacks coming in from the real world, we'll be able to tell you which are the riskiest employees of your customers. So Mimecast is human risk secured. So we are at the forefront of mitigating this risk that matters the most. So the attacks that are targeting the human beings or employees of an organization, and breaches that are caused by the human behaviors as well. So across the work surface, organizations, they do face a lot of risks. So it could be external. So like, for example, it could be targeted threats that are delivered through email, or it could be even through collaboration tools. So it opens the organization's boundaries to attackers. So that is one category of risk. We are also dealing with something called the insider risk. So insider risk could be, let's say, theft of sensitive data from an organization, or it could be exfiltration of data by an employee who is serving the notice period. So it is very critical and important that every organization need to have the right solutions to make sure that their intellectual property is protected. And also, when it comes to internal risk, there are a lot of use cases where organizations do require investigation, data retention, so which means that they have the visibility, they have the resilience that are key for governance and compliance requirements as well. And also, we are offering solutions like Archive to support the compliance and governance requirements of organizations. So if you look at where all these intersect, so it is at the human being or the employees who are sitting in the middle. And also, in addition to all these key areas, we also we should be in a position to help the users understand the appropriate use of the corporate system so that they can bring down the risk that they are introducing. So at Mimecast, we are focused on delivering 3 pillars of value to our customers. We help organizations to measure the human cyber risk. We empower the people or employees of the organization, and we have the right solutions to protect what matters before it becomes a breach. So the first thing is we start by measuring the human risk so that we give you a clear picture of your users or your customers' users and the risks that they are introducing to the organization. So at the core of Mimecast Human Risk Management Platform is the Human Risk Command Center. So by now, I'm sure that you all have seen this. So we have given access and rolled out this to our entire customer base, wherein they have access to this Human Risk Command Center. So what is Human Risk Command Center? Is a centralized view of a human risk intelligence that gives the security teams or IT teams an unprecedented visibility. And also to mitigate the human risk at scale, so we need to accurately identify what are the sources of human risk. Where am I seeing this risk from? So this requires a more complete picture of each individual, and also we require the context within their organization. So what are the risky behaviors each and every employee is exhibiting? Is it something related to actual phishing? And also, because of the integrations that we have, we are also now in a position to pull data from the other products as well. Like, for example, if it is a customer who is using CrowdStrike as their endpoint security, we have the option to pull the data from CrowdStrike and see if an employee is downloading any malwares. So in other words, what we are doing is we are leveraging the real security signals and behavioral insights. So we can plug into our own ecosystem. So we can pull data from Mimecast email security. Plus, we also have the integrations with other technologies, so using which we can pull the risk data. Plus, we also offer the training module as well. So there are videos and phishing simulations available. So we'll discuss about that in a while. So now what has happened is we have measured the human risk. So we know that yes, this is the riskiest employee, this is the riskiest department. So once we identify and see that where the human risk is leaving, so we can start to address it. So how we address it is using targeted trainings and interventions. Like for example, we introduced something called behavioral nudges. So what nudges does is it deliver feedback to users at the right time through the tools that they're using every day. Like for example, if there are users who are, let's say a user has clicked on an actual phishing link, so what happens is the platform will analyze that security behavior of that employee, and using this nudges, we provide a feedback or give a notification to that user saying that yes, we have identified that this has happened from your site. So please watch this video so that you're not repeating this mistake in future. So we help, Mimecast is helping your workforce to empower your workforce and also help them to understand what is the appropriate use of corporate system. So if they are not using the right channel, we have the right technologies wherein we can guide them and bring them back to the security track. So in short, we're trying to work with every organization so that we can cultivate a security first culture in every organization. So this is just a snapshot of how we are helping organizations to adapt the training and intervention. So we have hundreds of micro learning videos, short, humorous, funny videos that are designed to reinforce different cybersecurity topics. So it's not just based on email security, but it deals with different topics. Based on cybersecurity as a whole. And also our behavioral nudges, again, which is automated, it delivers the right content at the right time so that we can engage with that particular user when risky actions are taking place. So rather than waiting for weeks later, maybe an employee has done something wrong, there's no point in you training that employee maybe after a month's time. So he needs the training at the right time. So it has to be addressed at the right time in the right manner so that he will identify and know what is the importance of having that cybersecurity awareness in him. And also we have introduced personalized risk scorecards. So that was released last week. So now risk scorecards are available for individual users so that they themselves can see how their actions are impacting the organization so that they can feel empowered and they will have the drive to keep their organization safe. And lastly, Mimecast protects the users or employees in the organization. So this is where like work is happening. So the risk landscape is broad and it is constantly evolving as well. So which means having solutions that can protect your organization from internal risk is something which is very important. So Mimecast is making it very easy to adapt the security posture of organization. And we work with organizations to automatically strengthen the control, adjusting the policies where appropriate based on the observed risk. And also with adaptive protection, the security teams can also start proactively mitigating the risk before it turns to a breach. So this is where like we have all our solutions, like for example, email security and everything falls under email and collaboration. So we have insider risk management, data protection. So that's where insider falls in. Data compliance and governance. So that's where our the product aware and also the archive solution falls under this. So now what we'll do is we'll just drill down into the details of few of the selected products here. So the first thing is Mimecast Engage, so which is our revamped awareness training module. So with Engage, what organizations can do is to identify their riskiest employees. They can spark a real change in behavior with the nudges because we'll be able to do a real-time intervention. And also because it is completely automated, you can reset your team's focus as well. So it's just a one-time setup which is required. And also for every organization, if in case they don't have the right tools, it is extremely difficult to identify which of the employees are at risk, or which of the employees are the top risky users in an organization. So at the core of Mimecast human risk management platform and engage experience is this dashboard that centralizes the risk signal. So this gives the IT team visibility in terms of where they're seeing risk in an organization. So this starts with Mimecast risk signals like email security behavior. We analyze how an employee is performing when it comes to email. So when I say email, it's in real life how they're interacting with this. Are they clickers? Are they able to identify an actual phishing link and avoiding it and reporting it? And also that is one aspect of it, and plus along with that we also have training and simulation. So we have a full-fledged phishing simulation platform, so we take the inputs from that. We also send across awareness training videos. So ideally, I think organizations are adopting on a monthly basis. They do push the videos out. Again, it's a one-time setup, and based on the responses that we are getting, based on the clicks that we are getting for the simulated attacks, we calculate the risk scoring. And also you can see that we have a strong API integration roadmap. So we are in the process of expanding via integrations to ingest the risk data sources from across the cybersecurity ecosystem. So in short, like, we are trying to work towards a 360-degree visibility. So as of now, what we have ready integrations is for email security. So I mean email security with Mimecast, and also we have expanded with endpoints security as well. So with respect to endpoint, if our customers are using CrowdStrike or SentinelOne, we are able to pull the malware risk data from that. And also soon you can expect more integrations to come up. So in web security, in IAM, SIM, more endpoint vendors, and also DLP as well. So in short, what we do here when it comes to doing a risk scoring of an employee is that we monitor the actions. We also see what sort of attacks are we seeing with regards to a specific employee, and also what level of access they have in the organization. So everything put together is where we calculate the risk scoring. And this is something which makes us different from other vendors in the market, wherein if you look at any vendor for that matter, so especially like the vendors who are offering the training solutions, awareness training solutions and all, their focus is purely based on the training stats. They'll send across some videos, they'll send across some phishing simulations. Based on that is where they calculate the risk scoring. But in a real world, things might be different. So you might be missing out a real risky user if you're just going by the training stats. So that's the benefit where we understand, yes, training is also a critical component. We do the training, plus we capture the real risk signals as well. So everything put together is where we do the risk scoring. And also when it comes to the human risk dashboard, it helps them to uncover what are the greatest sources of human risk, and also they can enhance protection for employees. So you can set your focus on your riskiest employees rather than focusing the entire organization. So you can see the components. There is a human risk dashboard, there is an individualized risk profile. We have rolled out, we have released a scorecards for individual users. There's a risk response engine and risk analysis page for in-depth analysis. And also it is not just about pushing training. So we should also correct the behaviors and notify the employees saying that yes, their clicks and their responses matter and it affects the entire organization. So that's where nudges come in. So whenever an employee is performing a security action, the platform analyzes their action and it will trigger a behavioral nudge in Mimecast. So nudge can be sent via Teams, or it could be an email notification that we can send to the employee. So we notify the user just to that specific user who has performed that security action. So this notification will not go for the entire users. This is specific for the security behaviors or security actions that we are seeing from employees. And also, it's not just about correcting all the time. So we also have positive reinforcement, wherein, let's say, we have got an employee who has avoided clicking on any phishing emails, or reported the phishing simulation, or it could be a person who has completed all the training videos on time. So we could send a congratulation email, or we could even identify him as a security champion for the quarter. And also you can see that if in case employees are missing out attending the videos, we have the option to automate the reminder emails in the system itself, so that until the time the users are completing the sessions, we have the option to send across the reminders. And also it is a customizable content. You have the flexibility to select from the videos available. And it's all like human driven modules. So just like how you're watching a reel on Instagram, all what we are asking is just 2 to 3 minutes of an employee's time on a monthly basis. So in a fun way, the whole idea is to convey a cybersecurity topic to the user, so that they can and also ask them questions based on a scenario based question to see whether they have got the concepts right and they're able to make the right decision. And again, like end of every video, we ask these questions, and the responses that we get is also attached to the risk scoring. And also the rapid deployment and automation is something which is the key for wider adoption of this product. So we see like a lot of our customers utilizing this platform just because of the ease of usage. So we are not asking IT to spend their time on this training. It's completely automated. All they need to do is to select the industry. They need to enable the training. So set the order of the monthly training topics, just have a schedule for 1 whole year, enable the phishing simulation again that can be set up for 1 year. You can enable the behavioral nudges, which are the automatic notifications or personalized notification that we can send to the employee whenever security incidents happen. And once all this is done, you can confirm, and your 1 year program, security awareness training program, is good to go. So that's in short about awareness training. So feel free to let me know if you have got any questions, or if you have any customers who, some customers do reach out to us as a compliance requirement, but a lot of time it's an eye opener for IT team, and they always rely on this traditional boardroom sessions, which is not effective. So if your customers are interested and if you see an opportunity, so feel free to connect so that we can have a session with the customer. So now let's move on to the next product, so which is Mimecast Insider. So what Insider does is, so these are the primary use cases. So what it essentially does is it helps organization to give a great visibility in terms of seeing the data loss that are caused by employees. So this particular initiative often falls under companies mandate to stop this IP theft, or be it protecting the customer data, or get visibility into the cloud and endpoints. Or it could be some customers having some source code, critical source code. So they do not want, let's say, if employees are serving notice period, which is something which is very common. So every 2 in 3 employees is what stat says is that they take the data out when they're serving the notice period, when they're leaving the organization. So these are the use cases that we solve for. So we give a complete visibility. We help organizations to have a visibility in terms of the data movement in the organization. And also it is an issue. Majority of the organizations are concerned, and they do even feel like they wish they didn't have this problem to solve. So they feel that there's a lot of, I mean, they feel overburdened when it comes to even tackling this issue. So some may even question that the effort that they're putting in terms of securing the data, is it actually worth it? But one thing which is clear is that data loss is frequent, it is impactful, it is costly, and it is evolving as well. So it doesn't matter the multiple solutions that organizations are trying to put in place, it is still a concern. And also it's we can't blame the IT department when they say that it is an overwhelming issue and they don't have the bandwidth to even consider a solution. So what we do different at Insider is that we aim for simplicity, for quick deployment, and very minimal operational requirements from a point, I mean, from a product perspective. And also, it is very important when you look at solutions, it is also important to understand what are the risks that you're trying to solve for. So when it comes to Insider, the way it works is it collects around 180 billion data points every 90 days. And this, in fact, gives us a clear picture of the current data protection landscape and also what are the risks that the industry is, the newer risks that the industry is facing. And also gone are the days where initially, like I was saying, the work has changed. The data itself is coming in different forms. So nobody is now trying to exfiltrate a data using a USB drive. So that was 10 years back maybe. So now newer vectors are available, like for example, using AirDrop, they can exfiltrate the data easily. And also cloud technologies like GitHub or Salesforce. So a lot of technologies have evolved, and even organizations are also worried about their corporate data that are sent to Gen AI tools. So which means they don't have any control. So it's their confidential corporate data which is getting uploaded to the Gen AI teams. So how organizations are trying to tackle is by layering up 3 or more technologies. So they either go for a DLP solution, or they explore CASB or a UEBA, or they go for a combination of any of two or all three solutions. So the major drawback with the traditional approach, be it DLP, CASB, or UEBA, is that they force you to make assumptions about your data. So let's take DLP for example. So if you're exploring a DLP solution, what DLP solution requires as a mandate is that you need to perfectly define what needs protection when. And again, you need to classify your data. It's a complex administration. And even if like you comply or you follow all the steps and you spend like 6 to 12 months of time in deployment, end of the day, what happens is they're left with a lot of false positive, and they feel like this is the feedback that we normally receive from the customers who are already on these solution. And also it's something they feel that like disrupting the employees' productivity. So what happens is they will start using these products for which they have spent maybe months or years. They'll start using this product in a monitor only mode. So what we do different in Insider is that we provide a complete visibility out of the box without needing the customer to set up any policies or doing any data classification. So we take all your unknowns and make them as your new knowns, and we tailor the right responses for each type of activity. And also when you talk about risks, so there are two broad categories of risk in every organization. So it could be known as well as unknown risk. So the risks that fall and also if you think about the solutions like DLP, CASB, UEB and all, most of the data production solutions are set up to protect the risks that you are aware of. So these are the risks. You create the policies and alerts, and also it leaves you with no real way to surface your unknown risk. And also, in fact, these unknown risks are something that leaves you blindsided as well. So our approach to risk detection is different. So we are not like just concerned about the known risk in the organization. And also the approach that we are adopting in Insider is that we manage both the known as well as unknown. Let's say you're concerned about the production of source code in your customer space. So what happens is with just a few clicks, you can create a rule in Insider to flag any files that contains the source code going to any destination. Rather than classifying that file, and putting restrictions and putting control in that way, this is the way we operate. And also there are even more instances about where organizations are not aware. So we have a risk prioritization model which use scenario based analysis to identify the hidden risk. So which means that these unknown risks will become more transparent to you, and it allows you to take the right actions rather than leaving you blindsided. And this slide talks about the response controls. So we don't have a block first approach in Insider. Okay, so what happens is if you block a particular workaround, or let's say a particular process for an employee, it encourages the user to find workarounds, and it often blocks the user where they shouldn't be. So with Insider, the benefit is that you can respond appropriately to every type of event. Let's say an employee has newly joined the organization, and he's not aware of how, as an organization, what is the organizational policy when it comes to sharing corporate data. Maybe he used his personal drive. So, and also it was not a critical data that was shared. So it was just a file, maybe a data sheet, so which was shared through the inappropriate channel. So this is something which you can consider it as a mistake. So our approach at Insider, we analyze what is the severity of spectrum of the risk that we are seeing, whether it is low severity, moderate severity, high severity, or critical. So we categorize the risk based on our PRISM scoring. And if it is a mistake, so let's say and the example of the employee who has joined and who shared the file using the personal drive. So in such case, what happens is using this integrated user micro training, we educate the user and tell him that yes, this is something which we are using in our organization when it comes to sharing the files. We use Mimecast large file sent. So we can correct that user behavior so that they're bringing down the risk scoring. So what happens if it is not corrected in the initial stage? The behavior can drift over the time until the wrong way of using the data or the wrong way of sharing data becomes the norm. So we have built hundreds of micro training videos that allows us to quickly address low to moderate risks without adding any additional work to team. And this is all automated. And also this particular Insider used by CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike is a customer of Insider. Okay, so after like CrowdStrike started using Insider in their internal teams, they saw almost a 13% drop in their personal Google Drive usage because of our approach. And also 36 percentage of drop, almost like 36 to 40 percentage of drop was seen in moderate risk. And also all these things were seen with just 3 months of using Insider. And also we understand that high severity and critical severity is something that you need to have control. So our system will alert you regarding this events. Okay, so let's say for example it is a high critical or severity event. You have the option to revoke cloud sharing permission, block in real time, or remove the access or quarantine the endpoint. So this is all based on the risk scoring. For instance, like for example, if a sales employee is downloading from to an unmonitored device from a corporate Salesforce instance, what happens is it is a high critical severity event. Okay, our system will immediately flag this. And also as an IT admin, you will be able to take the necessary steps. Like for example, you can quarantine their endpoint or you can remove access to the application. And also we can do real-time blocking as well. We recommend this only for the high-risk users. Like for example, if you have departing employees serving the notice period, or if you have employees who are working on a contract basis. So those are the watch lists that you can create, and controls can be actioned for those watch list employees or high category of risk users. So that's the insider response controls. So moving on to the architecture. So I've got a brief slide that talks about the architecture of Insider as well. Yeah. I'm sorry, I slipped the slide. Okay. So our deployment architecture, it comprises of three main parts. So one is the agent and browser extension. Then we have the cloud exfiltration detectors, and also our integration to your existing stack as well. So we are a completely cloud-based solution, so which does most of the processing in cloud. So which means we are not resource intensive on the endpoint. So whenever you do an investigation, what you're doing is you're simply acquiring a cloud index and not the endpoint themselves. And also it is lighter on devices, but our customers, the feedback that we have received from our customers is that it is lighter on devices, and also it saves a significant amount of time. So whenever you're doing a query, you're able to get back the results within a few seconds, so which might otherwise take hours or even days with a competitor. And also today our endpoint agent, it covers Mac, Windows, Linux, and it uses less than 1% CPU. We also have a browser extension to support a strong visibility into the web activity. And also we can perform real-time blocking of uploads as well. And we cover corporate cloud, email, business apps like Salesforce, OneDrive, Gmail, using API-based exfiltration detectors. And also we monitor the system itself so that we are able to detect the exfiltration from these systems. So no matter how it happens, it could be on a corporate device or from a personal computer or phone, we'll be able to detect that. And also there's a solution where we can't operate in silos. So we have invested heavily in our ecosystem partnership. So we have 30 plus integrations and work on like different vendors or different solutions like SOAR, PAM, EDR, HR ticketing, and all. So these are just a slide that talks about the some of our existing integrations. So we have made a significant investment in developing this ecosystem. So yeah, it will help you as an organization to empower and get the most from their existing security investments, so that they can leverage the insider so that they can get a solid data protection without disrupting any workflows. So what makes it unique from other vendors is that we deliver the fastest time to value. So it's an easy deployment. We cover endpoint, browsers, cloud, all in one. And also we are non-disruptive as well. So once you try out the product, you'll be able to see that there's no user interruption or there's no distraction for the user productivity as well. So we surface, like I said, if you remember from the slide, the risk slide, our approach is not just to have something around the known risk, but also to surface the unknown risk and give them an actionable visibility into things that they haven't seen before. And also because we respond based on the risk scoring, so you have the option to change the user behavior as well. So if it is a moderate threat, we educate the user using the micro trainings and bring them back to the security track. And also you will have the tool, so which will allow you to respond appropriately as well. Yeah, so it's just a value slide, so which says that how like work has changed again. So 28% of average work days now spent on reading and answering emails, but 72% of a work day spent on the different applications. So which is why we need to have a proper visibility when it comes to data in the organization. So a few customers that we have for Insider, like I said, CrowdStrike is an existing customer. So similarly, you can see some big names out here. Just to wrap up, just want to see like where Mimecast is spanning. So our approach is to provide you as an organization, also for our customers, a faster time to value. And yeah, so especially with regards to Insider, it's a game changer. So wherein even with the DLP, the kind of visibility that we are able to provide is something which is immense. So I think we are in short of time, or should we just proceed with the collaboration? Or I'll just go through these slides quickly. So we are also offering production for collaboration tools as well for Teams, OneDrive, and SharePoint. So this is something which we have bundled with the premium plan, which we have rolled out. So along with, we now currently have 3 plans, so which is critical, advanced, and premium. So collaboration security is something which the customers can get. So wherein we have extended the same level of protection for Teams, OneDrive, and SharePoint. So if your customers are interested and if you're keen, maybe we can have a different discussion to cover this. So yeah, so in closing, I just want to highlight that Mimecast brings you decades of experience in protecting the collaboration. And also our platform is processing billions of signals every day. So it gives us the intelligence to understand the human risk and what are the leading indicators to help organization mitigate that risk as well. So we are trying to offer a single platform with a streamlined administration, unified data, hundreds of integrations readily available, and also our commitment is to is to strive, or is to help the organizations stay safe, bringing together the latest detection, AI, and keeping keeping you like one step ahead of the attacker. And also we are extensively working on the integration. So I think 300 plus integrations are there with leading security vendors, which is again like works to the advantage of the customer so that they have the ability to connect the dots across your entire security ecosystems. So that's it in short. Just want to summarize, and also now all of you know that if you're managing the renewals, and we are in the process of transitioning all our customers to critical advanced and premium package, which includes advanced BEC. Again, that's something which is of highly beneficial for the organizations to ensure that they have the latest technologies when it comes to the threats that we are seeing, especially on the BEC side. So thanks everyone for your time once again. So we'll see if we have got any questions in chat, and you can always reach out to me if you have any specific queries with regards to any of the products, or if you have any requests coming in from the customers. So more than happy to support. Since do we have any questions?
Yes, DJ, we can see some questions in the chat box. Jojo put two questions. Are there training available? Yeah.
Yes. So yes, Jojo, to answer your question, Insider can be taken separately. So there is an option for that. So if it is a new business, you can reach out to the account managers. So they'll be able to help you. So yes.
I think there is one more question from Jojo. Are the training only available in English, or are because
so training, the video, the audio will be available in English, but we do have the option to enable the subtitles. So we support the subtitles. So Arabic is supported. So they can switch the subtitles to Arabic if there are any Arabic speaking people in the organization. But otherwise, the audio and everything is in English.
Thank you, Chitti, for the very informative session. Hope everyone got an insight on the topic. If you have any questions, please write it in the chat box. Yeah, Gigi, there are some more questions.
Okay. With the leading vendors. Okay, so is the DLP comparable with the DLP? So it is not a DLP solution. So it is more of an insider risk management solution, Jojo. So what it does is the drawback, like I said, most of the organizations are trying to solve this issue of data leakage by using a DLP solution. And again, when they consider a DLP solution, it is all like rule based, wherein you need to perfectly define what needs protection when. So this is in fact falling short, and organizations are having a gap visibility there. So what we are trying to provide is a visibility in terms of where data is moving. And also when it comes to insider, like I said, we don't need any classification for the insider tool to work. So it does the risk scoring. So we have got something called a Prism risk scoring. So we see like what data is being exfiltrated, which employee is exfiltrating the data. Is he an employee serving notice period? And also we see like where is it being transferred to? Is it to a personal drive? Is it to a so basically like we're trying to eliminate the blind spots in every organization. So whether it is an IP theft, or whether if it is a customer is looking for a visibility across endpoint, cloud, and email. And also like I said, it's not a block first approach. So it's the whole idea is to automate and provide an effective response based on the risk severity, and also not to affect the productivity as well. Sorry, is it for customers? So wow, for mid-sized customers. So I think the minimum quantity what we have done so far is 100 users. So we did have a customer who really liked the product. So what they did was they only had less than 50 users, but because we actually had to create a use case for it, but we were able to sell it for a 100 user customer. So 100 and above, I would say. So if they have an existing DLP solution, you can add that. I mean, they can use Insider, and maybe like control part is something that they can manage with the DLP solution. So even if they're using DLP, we are seeing like a lot of value, because there are limitations when it comes to DLP. So if it is a file which is not classified, you're at the risk of losing that data. So the whole idea is to provide you the amount of visibility that we are able to give. So even for POCs, we are seeing like a lot of positive feedback is what we are receiving from the customers, because they have never seen that there was an employee. Okay, it is this employee who is actually trying to exfiltrate this data. So that visibility part is missing. So controls, I would say like controls are possible, but it is based on the watch list. So there's an option where you can create watch list in Insider. Again, like it could be employees serving notice period or contract employees. So that's where like you see their actions could be of risk. Their actions could be of high risk. So in those scenarios, you have the option to put the controls, but not every incident like we have the option to put controls. It is purely based on the risk severity. Can it manage controls for Google Drive, OneDrive without classification? Yes. How classification is done by Insider. So like I said, we use something called a Prism scoring. So using Prism scoring is where we consider the factors like what data. So is it is a critical data that is being like transmitted. And again, like I explained it earlier as well, is it if it is a contract employee who is who is monitored for this particular data being transferred, whether he's transferring it to his personal email ID or is he transferring it to his personal drive. So all these contributes to the Prism risk scoring. If the Prism risk scoring is high, that's where you'll be alerted and you'll have the visibility. You can also connect us with your customers in case if they're using a DLP solution, or even if they're not using a DLP solution, if they have concerns around data security. So some customers, they reach out to us saying that what matters for them is the visibility. That's what is the missing piece there. And they reach out to us for visibility, and we're very good, like very strong when it comes to the visibility part.
Thank you, Gigi. Thanks
Yeah.
everyone for taking time to this session. So please feel free to contact us for any further questions or queries. You can always email us either to me or Gigi, sincere Bulwark or jcherian@mimecast.com. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks everyone.